help. I'm a 17-year-old female, and I've been having seizures for the past 2 years. I've only had 14, which sounds like a lot. Yeah, it is. Sounds like a lot now. I think about it. I'm normally up to 1 to 2 hours of it. That didn't make any sense. She said, I think about it. I'm normally up to
about 1 or 2 about
1 to 2
about
hours of it.
Oh.
I feel dizzy and Nourse. I don't think that's a word.
N-O what?
He said, I feel dizzy and Nourse.
Yeah, maybe trying to say nausea. Trying to say that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's such an
17 years
oddly
old.
spelled word. A lot of
Yeah.
people have a lot of trouble spelling it.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She said, feeling dizzy and what should say nausea recently. I finally got the guts to tell my mom about them. She might be in the UK. To tell my mom about them. I didn't want to worry her, as a lot of bad stuff has happened in our life in the past, and she has PTSD because of it. But when I went to the hospital yesterday because I had 2 seizures, one lasting 3 minutes and one lasting 7 minutes. I didn't black out though. I could feel everything, could slightly see, but it was very blurry. My whole body was convulsing and I had no control. I was told this was a seizure, but today when I had another 10-minute long seizure and went to the hospital, I was told it wasn't because I was still said CONTRUSE.
I'm gonna say she meant conscious.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Conscious.
Or it's female, right? So conscious. Yeah, I think that's what she meant.
Said, I was told it wasn't because I was still conscious, we'll say. When I had them and was told it was a panic attack. I have had panic attacks in the past and it was nothing like that. And the last time I had one was in year 9 when I was being heavily bullied, probably not 9th grade, I'm assuming.
Yeah, or yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
I think
sure.
in Europe
It's either
or
8th or
England,
9th
yeah.
grade. I assume she's in the UK.
Yeah.
She's talking.
She
It's
said, I
definitely
assume it was
easier.
because I was in year 9 and I was getting bullied heavily, but I no longer get bullied and had a panic attack since I am just misinformed, or am I actually having seizures? I was also told to not come back to the hospital if I have another because there's nothing to worry about. Wow.
Yeah, sounds like what I kind of like was going through, where, I mean, if you're convulsing, you're having seizures. Like if you're uncontrollably convulsing, just like be honest with yourself. Like,
Right.
are you uncontrollably convulsing? If you are, then yeah, absolutely, you're having a seizure.
Right.
Whoever told her that because she was conscious
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah,
know what
that's
they're
not.
talking
Yeah,
about. No.
like they don't know what they're talking about.
Ask for a
That
second
was,
opinion.
I got brought down to my knees, and I couldn't control anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a
Been there.
car crash while I was having a seizure. Like I was conscious as somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It
Yeah.
is-
I've had ones where
yeah.
I've been a little bit. And it probably looked to other people like I was more than I was.
And I mean, I'm the poster child of this, at least in the Zoom here. Like, panic attacks can absolutely be auras. I thought I was having panic attacks. My doctor later told me I had PTSD and stuff. I probably do have some sort of PTSD, but at the same time, I know now that they are auras, absolutely. And I was having seizures. And just go see a neuro. Yeah, tell a doctor, give me a referral to a neurologist, and go see a neuro.
Yep. That's right. Do it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, someone said confirm CSF leak. What's that? CSF leak?
I don't know what that is.
That is
Yeah,
cerebral spinal fluid. I had that.
Oh, okay.
So with me, I had. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I had years of having ear infection that ate holes in the bone between the base of my skull and my inner ear, and I had fluid leak, and that caused migraines, that caused brain fog, just feeling like crap until we figured out what it was. So that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. I gotta go, guys. I'm so sorry. I will be back on Tuesday. I'll talk to you later, Pookie.
It's okay. It's 8.5 hours in.
Bye.
You could have went.
We've been here a while. See you later, man.
Yeah, we've been here
Okay.
now.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. It's been great.
Okay, she said, I was going down the path of migraine seizures with neurology. The ENT doctor collected my nose drippings and tested them, and I have a confirmed CSF leak. I just wanted to post on here to say that I am learning that this may get misdiagnosed sometimes. So I just wanted to say I am going to get fixed soon, so my headaches and nausea and seizures should be stopping soon. This community is awesome.
That's
Hate to
awesome.
be the bearer of bad news. It doesn't necessarily stop the seizures.
It doesn't stop,
Hey,
but
but if
at
it's giving
least
them
finding
hope
an answer
until
Yeah.
helps
exactly.
get some.
And I think there should be a little bit of a warning out there. Like if you are experiencing nausea and vomiting like as well as seizures, like go get that checked out. Like if you're like new listening to this or anything, like seizures by themselves aren't dangerous, but nausea, vomiting, other things like that are signs of brain injury, brain issues other than seizures. So
Yeah.
please be very aware of that.
Yep. 100%.
Because like the fact that they were having nausea and stuff, like yeah, they should have been looking at other things other than just epilepsy. And luckily they were.
So on to the next one.
Yeah.
Someone says, Aussie had a seizure 6 months ago. Now have the clearance to drive. So as the title said, I had my first and only seizure 6 months ago, and I was told by the hospital, my doctor and neurologist not to drive, so I didn't. I have now been given medically clearance by my neurologist and doctor to file out a form for transportation department to advise them of my conditional license requirement. However, as far as I am aware, none of these medical practitioners advised them in the first place. I've done some Googling, and apparently they should have advised the authorities, and there are implications for not doing so. I'm stuck as what to do next because I have a feeling this was something was going to happen like this. That maybe I was meant to do. If they didn't, however, was never advised by any of them to do so. I don't want to get into any trouble by handling the form but at the same time, I would rather do the right thing and be on conditional license for the next 12 months. I'm not going to drive again, regardless to if I get licensed or not. So
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that one.
Yeah, it's
Never behind the wheel, never again.
Especially after hearing about
I made my decision after a grand mal, after being seizure free for 3 years and having a big one. And I said, nope. I can't see myself if I get in an accident or hurt somebody else. Nope.
Right. Never again shall I drive. Okay.
I mean
Someone
maybe
says, go again?
I was just gonna say, like, maybe in 10 years they'll have like the cheapest taxis you can take anywhere, like self-driving cars you can order for $5 and just take you wherever.
Right, I was thinking that. Actually, they do have self-driving cars here, self-driving
Exactly.
taxis here in
Once they get
California.
like hydrogen power and stuff like that, the cheapest fuel source, dude, it'd be so nice.
Yeah, they have self-driving taxis out here.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen a few people on the freeway just like, and it's like see-through doors, so you just get to see them like doing whatever they're doing. No steering wheel to take over if anything happens.
Eh. I mean, I can't grab the steering wheel on the airplane when I go on that. I'm putting my life in whatever hands there. I guess cars crash a lot more often. That's a none point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone has a question. Non-medical ways to help your seizures. When I first realized that I was having seizures, it was about 4 years ago. I'm always completely conscious, and they happen a few times a week to a few times a month. I'm a bit of a health nut, so I wanted to see if there was anything I could do to remedy them with medication. I was already on a super healthy diet and exercise, so it made me wonder if I was doing something wrong. In my research, I was surprised to find that the lifestyle and diet are really not things found to contribute to your getting epilepsy, nor with helping it. The only thing I found that studies showed actually did help was meditation, yoga, and stress reduction. So already being someone very into spiritually, but not into yoga and meditation, I dove into them hardcore. And indeed, my simple partials evolved and changed to becoming much shorter in duration and much more positive feeling. There had been a cloudiness and negativity in them before, and they lasted about twice as long. So I kind of enjoy them now, but I'm not sure that they've decreased in frequency. And I do still seem to have nocturnal seizures at least once a year. So I feel very blessed to have this in not such an awful way and wanted to share how this has been helpful. But also, I am wondering if anyone else has experienced this or has other things you do that don't include medication or surgery. Non-medical ways? No, I don't think I want to just not take my pills just to try stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
I think meditation though and like breathing exercises are just ways you can calm yourself down. Like I'm not saying stop taking your medication, but like a big thing that triggers my auras is like the phantom smells like get. Like that's how I know they're coming on. And so I like to do breath exercises just to, you know, help keep my airways clear or something like that, or I don't know. And I feel like if it gives you any positive feeling, feels like it helps, then why not?
Yeah. Keep your stress down. Get as much rest as possible. But
Mhm.
you have epilepsy. I
No
don't
cure.
know any non-medical ways you can really avoid it.
So on to the next. Someone says, plan for the day when you're risking a sleep deprived seizure. Hi, my fellow epileptics. I was curious what one does if they do not get enough sleep, but have an engagement such as traveling early, social events like weddings, funerals, etc. I am at my safest about 6.5 hours, but I do not want to test any less than that. My tonic clonics are controlled, but my focal impaired awareness ones are the seizures I have when I have a lower threshold. Has anyone else resolved this? What have been done to make sure you don't have any seizures when you know your threshold's lower that day? Um, I don't exactly know what lowers my threshold sometimes. I guess smoking the tobacco. Gotta start smoking papers. I told myself that. I'm gonna see what happens and start using papers instead. Next week, when I run out of cigars.
I'm just getting enough sleep. I'm like, unfortunately, we have to try a little bit harder to make sure that we don't have those seizures and stuff. And if it means going to bed a little earlier.
Yeah, I try to get
some time.
8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
That's the usual 8 to 10, sometimes more.
Do you get 8 to 10 uninterrupted, or do you
No,
wake up? Okay.
Never.
Never.
I gotta wake up, take my pills. I gotta wake up, go to the bathroom twice. So yeah, there's no straight 8 to 10 hours straight.
Yeah.
It's that groggy feeling afterwards, after I wake up. So still going to the bathroom and coming back, I'm still like mad tired. So I'm just like, okay, I can still lay down. And eventually I'm just laying there like, I need to get up. So I ended up getting up.
I have to bus to work every morning, so I have to be up so early just to get to work at 9 o'clock and then come home. It's not bad, honestly. It's a nice change of lifestyle. Anyone else have to wake up early? Anyone else have to?
I had to wake up when I was working in the warehouse.
Oh man.
I had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning because I took transportation, public transportation, so I can get to the bus on time to get to the terminal to get to my job on time.
Yeah. Yeah. But what time did you work?
It was 4:30. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. The job started at 6:30 in the morning, and they didn't release us till 4:45, something like that. It was a 10-hour,
10 hours.
4 days a week.
Sounds like decent money. Well, that's your 40 hours soon.
4 10s.
It's stressful. Like I guess it can build on you. You're actually doing 12 hours when you're doing all that transportation stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. I get.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like the transportation part after or before this. Yeah, and you gotta transport back, 7. Right?
I have to walk to the bus at 8:30. I get home an hour and a half later as well.
Right. Someone says, can someone help me differentiate between anxiety and epilepsy? I have been struggling with what I think is anxiety and derealization disorder since I was 10. I'm now 23. I have gone through bouts of it where it has been worse than other times. It feels like if I'm in a constant dream and nothing feels real. The last year and a half or so, I have been struggling with the feeling, along with deja vu, dream flashbacks, and random memory flashbacks. I don't really have any other physical symptoms along with it, but other than the occasional lightheadedness and heart palpitations, the dream flashbacks or random memory flashbacks have been freaking me out recently. In January, my mother passed away and unexpectedly, and since then, my weird feelings have increased by 1,000,000. I've had 3 brain MRIs, several EEGs, and a 48-hour EEG. My neurologist listened to my symptoms and said it could be auras and prescribed me Keppra. Wow. A psychiatrist listened to my symptoms and prescribed me Prozac. And I am kind of torn on which to start and what to do. Prozac and Keppra from 2 different people?
Did he say it's or did he say he's at a grandma yet, or just auras?
It just said auras so far.
Okay.
The occasional lightheadedness. I get the occasional lightheadedness.
Mm,
I think that just comes with the territory.
I get that. Especially, I hate it when, especially when it's like I'm getting straight up, like trying to stand up from like cleaning and stuff, and get that lightheaded feeling. Feels like you go blank.
Right. I get the lightheaded feeling a lot when either I bend over to get something and then I stand up and I'm lightheaded, or sometimes even when I crouch to get something and I stand up.
Mhm.
A lot of movement standing up, I get dizzy. I'm going straight somewhere and straight back, I'm cool. But stopping, bending over, reaching for things sometimes, get dizzy all the time. Try not
I
to
don't
drop
get
things, but I get dizzy.
I don't get auras, but if I stay dizzy too long and I can't shake it, I'm not going nowhere.
I think panic attacks and auras are kind of hand in hand. Like, it's hard to differentiate between them. I don't know what the EEGs told the person, but you know, go based off of that. If it's abnormal, take the Keppra. If it's not, try the Prozac. I just want to say I'm very sorry to hear about your mom. Very sorry.
Yeah, sorry about your mom. That's not gonna, like that's gonna be stressful regardless.
Right. Yeah, I can't see anything taking that off my mind, especially because it's so soon. She said that was only in January. So on the next one, how do y'all go to concerts? What do you do at concerts if they have flashing lights? They usually don't do it the entire concert, obviously. So do you just cover your eyes and hope for the best? No. I mean, I don't have photosensitive seizures, but I don't suggest that. Hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Just like looking through your fingers every now and then, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster right there.
Right. If you know, then you might want to just watch it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have
It's
photosensitivity.
If anything, go with your friends who know how to handle anything so they know what to do.
I don't know,
Okay.
concerts that I go to, there's 40, 50,000
Yeah.
people in seats dancing and screaming and clapping and stuff. I think that's a bad idea.
If you fall to the ground, you can get trampled, and that's not a
Mm-hmm.
good time.
Yeah. Even small clubs, you're all packed in. There's like 100, 200 people in there. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not, but I've been to some concerts and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if you don't
it's
have photosensitivity, then yeah, why not?
Yeah, back to
Right.
what you said about getting trampled. Yeah, like you could have a seizure and people panic and trample you, being that it's
Exactly.
so crowded and everyone's kind of stuffed in.
Someone pushes someone, they step on you, push into another person,
yeah.
domino.
I never want to get up close, like to where they're definitely near this too close to the stage because that's most likely where they're going to trample at.
Yeah, that was like with that Travis Scott concert. They were close to the stage and trampling
Yeah.
people.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Any solo travelers? I'm a 29-year-old male. I traveled solo for the first time in November while in Japan, then traveled to Romania and Hungary in March. Looking to see if there's anyone else here who faces the same stuff and has traveled alone. I mean, I travel on the bus,
That's about it.
city to city, I guess.
Local
I'm not going to Romania.
transportation.
props to you for doing that, 'cause that's ballsy. I mean, hey,
I
but if
mean,
you trust yourself and you trust the people around you.
It said Japan, then Romania, then Hungary in March. That's, yeah, applause to him. I can't travel like that, not especially not alone. I guess if I have my meds, but You got to worry about being
Yeah.
comfortable, and then worrying yourself that I'm not in a comfortable position could make you have a seizure. And then you're in Japan, so they might not even know what's going on. You might just be left somewhere or something.
But then you get universal health care.
Time my head to go to the worst.
Something happens and then your family don't know, and
Again, I don't think any of us are seizure free though. So it's like if you're seizure free on your medication, then yeah, like that I would absolutely attempt to go to Japan or something, but with the rate I get seizures on.
Does anyone ever get their letters or words mixed up? When I'm writing or verbally spelling things out loud, I often get the letters and simple words that I know how to spell mixed up. I don't think
that's
it's
just
dyslexia. I think it's focus issue because I know immediately that I fucked up the word and how. I've also had concussions, and when I had one of my first head injuries, this was one of the tests the doctor ran. For example, I tried to spell psycho, but I spelled it PHYIO.
Well, you know, I always tell people I'm educated, really I am. When I send like a text and like look at the words, I'm like, oh no, that's not right. You know, sending stuff to you know, people at work and stuff like that. I'll read the text in the IM. I'm like, no, really, I'm educated, trust me. So, you know,
Yeah.
I spot it after I send it.
Me too. It's like I typed something and I sent it, and I was like, sent it. And then I was like, I should have proofread that. I kind of missed some words. It was like I blinked out and missed a couple words. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking that sentence, but I didn't write it.
Or I'll
Yeah,
say
there's
something
even
that's
some.
I'm sorry,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
I'll be talking, and then when people give me a weird look, I'm like, it didn't come out the way I thought, did it?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Or the words will come out of order.
Right.
Uh-huh.
My
It's
mom
like
says that. She's like, you're not speaking right. What's going on? Get that. That's when she knows something's going on. Someone else says, I have a nicotine addiction. 2 seizures in less than 6 months. Context: I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was only 14. It seemed to pop out of nowhere since it was definitely wasn't genetic, and I haven't experienced any head injuries. It could have been considered a one-time thing had I not started having seizures like nearly every day. To be fair, it didn't really take long before I got diagnosed, since after my first seizure, the next one I had turned into 5 seizures back to back. That being so, I've been on Lamictal during the rest of my teens after some trial and error with tons of medications. It was going pretty good until I was hired at my first part-time job at 17. Granted, the job itself wasn't terrible. It was kind of your standard shitty part-time job, but it was enough for a senior in high school. The issue was more that literally all my coworkers were stoners. I was a baby of the crew, basically, since everyone else was older than me by at least a year or two and were already out of high school. I was really lonely at the time. It didn't really help that I was already a super reclusive kid. It definitely felt nice to be included for once. Looking back now, yeah, I was really fucking stupid on my part. I was offered vapes, cigarettes, weed, and other drugs like LSD and coke. Luckily, I didn't get that far with the hard drugs and the weed, but I did end up buying myself vapes and smoking 24/7. Since I always had that craving, it was always in my hand. Although it seems that eating meals and snacks gets rid of the craving until I'm either full or ate all of it. In my 20s and still on the Lamictal with the addiction of, is it zonisamide? ZONISAMIDE. With my addition of zonisamide, sometime 4 months ago, I lost my 2-year seizure-free streak. And yesterday, I had another seizure. I've been smoking vapes and occasionally cigarettes for more than a couple of years. I've also attempted to quit more than once. I don't really know how to go about it because it's essentially become a huge stress reliever. It calms me and relaxes me the most. And I know it's still bad. And also just nicotine doing its thing, but I can't bring myself to care most times. It doesn't happen. It doesn't help that I might be bipolar, already struggling with anxiety disorders and depression. I'm just looking for advice on ways I could quit, given my situation. I know quitting is going to be hard as it is, but I just like some advice and recommendations. I've been putting it off for so long, so it's just something I must do, whether it's now or not, whether I like it or not.
As someone who vaped from 16 to my first seizure, my best recommendation is Zins. I know it's not the best choice, like cold turkey is good, but it's a much less intrusive way of getting your nicotine. I sympathize with that. After you eat all your food, you immediately want nicotine. Like it subsides it until you're done with it. Just throw Zin in afterwards and just keep feeling it up there, and then slowly get off the Zins.
Yeah, I'm gonna be weaning myself off of nicotine soon, because it does lower your
Yeah,
threshold
nobody
and hurt.
can mistakes.
So I'm gonna move over to papers instead of cigars. Gonna see how that helps. Then I don't do caffeine anymore, so I'm gonna see how that helps. No tobacco and no caffeine, and see how far I get just with taking my meds and eating right and everything else.
I stopped caffeine and I sleep a lot better.
Yeah,
You
like
said since you stopped caffeine, you sleep a lot.
I never wake up throughout the night anymore.
like for me, like for me, like I was like for me, like I'm like stuck with my parents, and like for me, like like for me, like I just got rid of the coffee and stuff like that. So like for me, I just got rid of the Dunkin' coffee. So like I'm pretty much off the caffeine and stuff like that. So like so like I'm starting off the no caffeine journey and stuff like that. I'm working on getting that done. Not getting it done. So for me, like I'm getting off the caffeine. That's my first start.
How you feeling from that?
So I feel like a little bit. So I feel like a little bit jittery. So I feel like a little bit jittery. So I feel a little bit jittery. Not too much of it. So it's like a little bit of downfall. But like so I just got my vials today from so like my blood pressure is going good.
Oh, that's good.
All right, another one. This is a novel. Hey, so in 2018, I had a suspected brain infection. This started off my seizures as a side effect. When they first started, I was having them every single day, up to about 50.
What?
50.
Oh,
Shall I
I
read
thought
that
you said
sentence over
15.
again? Up to 50 a day.
Wow.
It would have hospital every single time as it was very new. I got tested for epilepsy, came back negative, so they say it was pseudo seizures. I don't know what that is. Pseudo seizures. They gave me some lorazepam, and that had really the end of medical research over it. So since 2018, I've been trying to get through life seizures, happy for weeks at a time, then disappear for a few months before coming back. My concern is that over the past month, my seizures have been reacting to light outside, to someone flashing light in my eyes, at opticians. It's proving more difficult to keep going. I love my walks with friends and my dog, but it's getting so bright now. I'm worried something will happen. And the will get injured. Oh, and the dog will get injured. Also, the lorazepam dosage doesn't seem to be helping anymore. I took max dosage yesterday morning, still was getting them throughout the day. Same for today, just feeling very frustrated and scared. There was an emergency for my dad today, and basically, I have stayed to look after the dogs because I was having seizures rather than going with my dad to the hospital. My mom says it's to call doctors tomorrow, but worried they will just say there's nothing they can do. I don't want this to be my life, scared to go outside in the sun in case they kick off. I hate seizing around people, makes me feel very awkward. I have seen grown adults cry over it because it's a scary thing to witness. So I tend to hide away in my house with all my curtains closed, but the sun is still getting in and my seizures are still reacting. Just feeling a little lost right now. I can really use some advice.
I mean, I just start off by saying talk to your doctor and get on a different medication. Like they're your doctor. Like they can't tell you no necessarily if you tell them you want, and if they tell you no, go to a different doctor. Like find a different doctor. But like
Mhm.
change medications or like you definitely if you're getting seizures from that much light like photosensitivity, like
It
yeah,
sounds like a tolerance is being built up.
true. Like, if it's growing, yeah.
Yeah, I suggest just like, yeah, seeing another doctor and get another opinion because this person
Yeah.
also said that the doctor said it couldn't be epilepsy. So you gotta go see a neurologist, not just a doctor or a leptologist or something.
Yeah.
Somebody's not seeing something, but seizures don't just happen. I mean, unless you have
Yeah.
diabetes, then you have diabetic seizures. But other than that, it's epilepsy. I mean, I'm no doctor, but yeah.
It's
There's so many type of seizures.
it's almost 12 o'clock for me here. I'm gonna have to go. Thank you very much for letting me ramble on, listening and just talking.
12 here too.
It's all right, man. We've been here almost 9 hours now.
I'll see you guys next week. Have a great
I'll see you
night.
next week, Tuesday,
Yes.
if possible.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, you don't have any seizures. Hopefully, nobody does by then.
Right, right.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone.
Right.
Yeah, it is actually near midnight here too, so I'm gonna have to get going soon.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go eat dinner, which might also be lunch because I've been here since 12 noon. And it's
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
almost
you've
9
been here
o'clock.
all day.
It's almost 9 o'clock. Angel's been here too, right? 9 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did go eat though.
Yeah. Keep going if you like.
Yeah.
2 tonic clonics. Oh yeah, Rick, you said you had to go.
Yeah, well, I can hang on another 2
All right.
minutes.
Well,
All right. 2
well,
tonic clonics.
I mean,
Huh?
well, I could say a little bit longer.
Oh, okay. Someone says, hello. About 2 months ago, I had a tonic clonic for the first time. Went to the hospital. They didn't find anything immediate because I was discharged so fast. I had to make an appointment with neurology since then I've suspected 2 to 3 focal awareness seizures. Tonight, after a stressful, intense day, with my aunt, I had 2 back-to-back tonic clonics within 10 minutes of each other. Is this typical to have 2 so close together like that? And since my neuro appointment isn't until May 1st, what sorts of things should I be doing to keep myself safe? It seems it's like I seem to be getting more auras before them, so that's good, I guess. Also, these are only happening at night. I've not had one during the day. Not sure if there's relevance, but I thought I'd mention it. Does this sound like I could have developed epilepsy. I would have took it as epilepsy. Explain
Mhm.
seizures.
Well, only a doctor can really diagnose that, really, epilepsy.
Yeah, so I think
Yeah, it
epilepsy.
does sound like it. It does sound like it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it, and definitely something to get looked at.
Yeah, so Rick, earlier I was also saying I read something that said, how do you know when a seizure's over? And that was a question I really could not answer. Some people, well, no one actually answered it that I know of. Cause like I've been aware after a seizure to wake up in the ambulance and then wake up in the hospital and not know where I am. But I knew
Hmm.
where I was on the way to the ambulance, and yeah, so I don't know when it's actually over. I don't know if it's the headache is keeping it going or what's going on, but
Well, so with me, so with uh my first major one, I woke up on the floor and my wife was all upset. But then said, okay, I'm going to get back to work because I was working from home that day. And she's like, no, we're going to the hospital. I'm like, all right, let me contact my boss, let him know what I'm at and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like I had my wherewithal. So that would be an end to the seizure that time. And when I've had some focal awares, it's if I'm in a meeting and all of a sudden I snap back to it and people are silent and like, oh, they're probably waiting for me to answer. So I'm like, sorry, I missed that. Can you repeat that? So I kind of feel that's when it's over because I snap back to reality. If that makes sense.
yeah, someone said, you're done when when you're back coherent. But like I said, I've
Hmm.
been coherent. The ambulance and everything ask me what's going on. They throw the questions at me, I answer. And then, like I said, I wake up in the hospital, and that's like on the ride there. So in the hospital, I'm like, where am I now? So I really can't say when does it end because for me, I'm not even sure at this moment, and I don't want to have more just to figure out how does this
I'm
end.
with you
And
there.
when it happens, I guess I'll check it out. But for now,
Yeah.
You
I
don't
don't
know if
know how
you
to answer
had a
that
second
question.
one in between, or
Never over.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Pookie, for hosting this. Sorry I couldn't join in that long, but it was nice meeting everybody and everybody seizure free.
All right, Jason. All right, everybody.
everybody stay free.
All right.
All
Have a
right,
good one.
stay seizure free, you guys. This was a 9-hour live session. That's man. Love
Yeah,
you guys, man.
marathon. Have a good one.
You guys have a good
Yeah.
night.
Stay safe. Good night.
Stay
Thanks,
seizure
Pookie.
free.
You too.